Thank you for choosing for your heart space insights for January. This is a format that I am hoping to keep throughout the year. In this reading, we will look at your heart space, what's going on with you, a message from your higher self regarding your heart space. We'll look at a potential partner or your current partner and get a message from their higher self as well. Then we'll ask what the purpose is of the current energy in the connection, or what the connection is meant, if it's a new connection, what it's meant to be doing, what you guys are meant to do together. So real quick, if you've viewed videos or if you're here for the first time, go ahead and hit like, subscribe, comments. Also making suggestions about different type of readings that you'd like to see throughout the year. And so here we go. Divine Source. I am a clear, concise channel of the highest vibrational wisdom and guidance. I invite my ancestors, guides, and to assist me in providing loving support and guidance to those who receive it. May any existing blockages be cleared and breakthroughs be delivered. And so it is. Libra, heart space, January 2019. Libra, heart space, January 2018. Libra, heart space, 2018. All right. What's going on in Libras? Ooh, that one flew all the way over there. Okay. Queen of Wands. Wow. You know, usually when I see the Queen of Wands, I think that there's often a domineering energy that's there with the Queen of Wands. And sometimes I just feel like it's done in a way where you kind of, I say domineering, but it's not a negative thing. It's usually out of love, right? So you're feeling really loving, even feeling pretty, feeling content with the way things are in your environment. I honestly feel like the heart space here for Libra is I don't know, like a pure passion. This is when I say pure, it's more like not necessarily sexual or anything like that. There is a fairness that's living inside of you right now, a balanced energy. Um, Nurturing. You know, if you're single, then it's like you're content with that and you're okay with it. So I do get the feeling that there's just a kind of a, maybe you have been focusing in on your creative talents, and so basically your heart space is healthy for sure. I get the feeling that like I said, it's just in a very nurturing space. So you're feeling nurtured by your surroundings, by, maybe outside support and maybe love pouring into you, even. It just feels very, very content, you know? Um, And I started it off by saying that, you know, sometimes when I see the Queen of Wands, it's that domineering energy. But I feel as if, you know, you could also be dealing with, you know, having outside influences, you know, maybe making you feel as if you don't have control over your environment. And I say that in a way, let me get the words out the way they need to come out. It's like if you may be overcoming that feeling of things outside of you having so much power over your emotions, your reactions to things. So I feel like in January, maybe you're feeling like you have the power now. You aren't overly affected by outside influences. Um, and also, you know, not only are you seeking or you're allowing in nurturing energies that are here to nurture what you desire and what you feel. Um, and any criticisms and things like that, I think you're separating yourself from so that your heart can feel what, so that you can have this feeling from the purest place and it does, it's like unadulterated, untouched by anyone else's influence. I'm going to clarify the Queen of Wands for the heart space energy, please. Please clarify the Queen of Wands. Eight of Cups, definitely walking away from something, from, you know, there's this leaving behind an energy of other people having more power over your feelings and your emotions than you do. Over feeling powerless when it comes to how you express yourself. Some of us can have a tendency to be overly expressive of our emotions, you know, where they're expressed in a way that's maybe not as healthy, causes us to act in a not so pleasant way when we're with others. I won't say tyranny, but it's more like it's just an aggressiveness, you know. And so I feel as if you're walking away from even the need to control your emotions yourself, you know. So it's like this double-edged thing where on one end you could be feeling I said double-edged, but it's like two sides. So there's a balance between how much outside influences are affecting your emotions and then also how much you are working to limit them. So I feel like you're walking away from the need to limit these emotions or in the way that you express them. If you've been closed off and you haven't necessarily expressed your emotions in a healthy way, then you're balancing this out, walking away from anything where you are expressing yourself or your outward expressions of the emotions comes off as a need to control or a need to dictate or anything like that. And this comes from you reflecting on it yourself, you know. I think once you did walk away from other people's influences and opinions on situations, yeah, the Knight of Wands there, it's it allowed you to see where you could regain control of self, but then also areas where you could just allow yourself to be, right? There's definitely some things that you're leaving behind, you know, some things that maybe you've left behind because you've seen the results of them and they weren't pleasing. Sometimes it's hard to acknowledge too, because then when you acknowledge that something wasn't pleasing, you have to take personal responsibility for creating it, right? Out of whatever place it was created, you know. What's the higher self, Libra's higher self? What message do you have for the Libras who will view this video? Yeah, definitely a sense of epiphany, a definitely sense of breaking things down to see where all of these different reactions are rooted in. Whatever just came to my mind, if you've had feelings for a person and you didn't necessarily express that you had feelings for this person, or the way that you expressed it wasn't really a healthy way. It didn't help the situation at all. Some of us will even undermine someone else's, the way they're processing or their love connections, instead of just saying that we have feelings for this person. You know what I mean? So however you've been dealing with the feelings that you might have, even if they're not just for a person, but just heart space feelings, things that needed to be forgiven, things that asked you to show a little more compassion. Any of these feelings are being addressed. They're being brought to your conscious, from your subconscious, and it's allowing you to release those behaviors. It's becoming very clear that whatever, I have a quote that I from a poem that I wrote, that dragging chains spark flames. So anytime that I'm dragging bags behind me, or unexpressed emotions and feelings, or whatever the case, anytime I'm dragging that behind me, it has a tendency to cause fires in my life, because then my reactions or my outward expression of those things is flamey. It's fiery. It's not from a compassionate place, because I have all this repressed stuff. So you're definitely taking a higher, a look from atop of the tower now, and looking down on all of the calamity that may have resulted from repressing these emotions, not saying what you needed to say, not forgiving where you needed to forgive, not forgiving yourself. I feel the need to say that in this situation, it definitely feels like a lot more inward than outward. Any choices that we've made, if you've left yourself attached to situations out of guilt, or anything like that, then you're definitely seeing how it's caused more harm than good, how you weren't able to fix, per se, the situation. You just needed to forgive self. So that could be for some of you. Please clarify the tower for the higher self message for Libra. Higher self, clarify the tower. Yeah, there's definitely some fallout that you're having to acknowledge. Yeah, I don't think another card is going to come out. I think that's it. So whatever this fallout is, it's making things very clear for you. Very clear. It's not ignorable anymore. Your higher self is demanding that you give it the attention that is required. I don't know, but even the tower looks like it's screaming, like, hey, 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 trying to get your attention. So for some, this is like a big white lie, or like a white lie that just grew and grew and grew until everything was falling to pieces. Until everybody connected to it found themselves in a place that is difficult to come back from now. One white lie, grew into this big flaming, falling tower. But there's opportunity to bring balance and healing to it. You got the Star card here and the King of Coins. So it's one of those things where if you can ground yourself in the truth of it all and forgive self, move into the new. You may need to make amends in the situation. If there's any connections that you want to salvage here, then it's definitely something that you'll have to come forward. You'll have to say what happened. All parties may not need to hear it out, but there seems to be someone in particular that you may need to come clean to, or admit that, admit something. Your higher self is definitely urging you to go ahead and take this time to take the higher road. I felt like I needed to shuffle again. So for the partner, any partners or potential partners in Libra's life right now, or coming in even, something flips. Yeah, there's this Seven of Wands, shows that this partner or potential partner definitely has some defenses up. They're defending themselves in what it is. They may even be resistant to you coming in because they feel whatever it is that you're still carrying. I hear a very specific situation, so I'm gonna put it out there. So if there was some type of game with emotions that you were playing between people, so sometimes we'll find ourselves wanting to work towards a certain outcome in a situation, and we will intentionally manipulate it, what do they call it, triangulation, when you decide to just basically show somebody that you have options. That's what that feels like. And so by doing this, you involve somebody else's feelings. You you may have even caused a stir or even more tension in the connection that you were hoping to bring back together. Because mind games don't really ever, it doesn't work. It causes more turmoil because you won't just either walk away from something, because a lot of times if a situation is not playing out, it's just meant to walk away from. And I've learned that lesson in 2018. um, it's like sometimes when you're not able to get the outcome that you want, it does require for you to walk away, release, turn your energy somewhere else so that that situation can have what it is. Now, if you only turn away to another person and involve another person because